Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Built Structures video. Before we get on to the video, I need to explain a few things to you guys. First of all, Drake and Major Changes has been put on hold for a while, and the reason for that is because I have been very busy in the last couple of weeks. As you guys know, or most of you guys know, that I've been in New York for a week and then came back here, and I have 3 projects on my table at this point. The first project is going to be with Eric Hall's Big Build Contest version 2. I've been working on that and I'm almost done with that, so my third video will be up pretty soon. In June, Eric will explain to you guys how to do the voting for these projects. And let me tell you something, guys, there's a lot of good builds going on out there. So check them out. Whenever you see one of these big build splash screens come up, check them out, man, because they are really cool stuff. The other project I'm working on is for Rail Talk. Apparently Gino has had some problems with his internet service. Don't know, they had a major storm where he lives, and apparently the pole that his internet cable goes to his house was struck by lightning and caused all kinds of problems. I'm hoping that by the time I post this video that he will have Rail Talk version, episode number 3 up. Third, I have been bugged by this person for this build for quite a long time. Probably about 2 years or so. And the build I'm doing is for Jack Jackson. He has been bugging me for the Mariani plant that's currently on my layout, which is prototypical to my layout. He wants that building, so that's what this video is about. In one of my previous videos, you guys commented that you'd like to see the build on video. I really didn't have any intentions of doing it on video, but to please my audience, I will do a video on the build. Finally, before we get on to the video, I did have a small mail call, and this mail call came from Utah. It is from Todd Walton, aka Wally's Weathering. And if you check out his channel, you'll see the build that he's doing for the Big Build Contest. Anyhow, let's go ahead and open this up and see what Wally sent me. A box inside of a box. Very interesting. Anyhow, there's a note. And I won't read the note on video, but I will show you guys, and you can pause the video and read it. Anyhow, let's see what's in the box. It says fragile end stairs. Okay, so let's open the box up. Oh boy, wow, this is really cool, guys. I'll see if I can get this out of the bag without damaging it, but let's see how close I can get for you guys to see that. Anyhow, let me see if I can get it out of the bag. And geez Louise, this thing is really delicate. I don't know how I'm going to hold it. Anyhow, I don't know if you guys can see that. But anyhow, this is the stairs to a trailer, a semi-trailer, used as a either work office or a parts place or whatever. Anyhow, Wally, Todd, I thank you very much for this. This is going to be cool, and most likely I'm going to use it in my Drake cement plant scene. I think it'll be cool there to have, like, I won't use that as an office because there will be a main office to the complex, but I will use this kind of like a parts supply trailer or whatever you want to call it. Anyhow, with all that being said, let's get on to the main part of this video. Before I do that, I will show you what this is going to look like with the stairs and a little trailer. Alright guys, this is just a quick overview of what this is going to look like. Todd, you did a really good job on this. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and it's going to make a little bit more better scene in my Drake cement plant. Of course, I will weather this out. I happened to find this this trailer in one of my boxes of stuff that I got. So it fits the purpose, and like I said, I will weather it out and make it look good, and it will be sitting in Drake cement plant. Okay, now that all that's been said, let's get on to the main part of this video. Be back right away. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is Ernest F. Mariani Company. They process sugar, both wet and dry sugar products, and they send it out in tankers, tank trucks. As you can see right there, I have one marked up. What happens here is they get rolling stock of hoppers and tankers, both wet and dry sugar products. The tankers will come in from this side here, get sanitized in this area, drive around the backside, and come in here and get loaded up. When I was there for my mini tour, they told me that they load up 30 trucks per day. They get rail service 6 times a week. So I'll try and put a clip in of the little bit of switching action that I saw when I was at the mini tour. Anyhow, we'll move on now, and I'll show you the mock-up of what I'm going to be building with the jack. Of course, mine is prototypical to my layout. Don't know if it'll be very prototypical to Jack's layout, but he wanted it. He's been bugging me for 2 years, so I finally decided I'd do it for him. Anyhow, stay tuned, and I'll show you a mock-up of the HO size of this model. Be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at now is the mock-up of the Mariani plant that I'm going to be doing for Jack. Dimensions for this building is from the very front here to here is 80 feet long. It's got a height up to here of 22 feet, and I think there's 10 more feet of peak. And the overall width from front to back is 50 feet. This tower back here is approximately 51 feet tall, and it'll be 12 inches wide. I always do mock-ups, as you guys know. It gives me a sense of proportion. Of course, this is not the correct tank truck that'll be in here, and this will be a flat roof up here. So the next step for me to do on this project is to actually draw out all my measurements on the plastic that I'm going to be using, and we'll commence to cut it out. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Alright guys, before we get started on doing all the drawing and stuff like that, I want to show you the products I'm going to be using. To start off with, we're going to do Evergreen number 14040. It's 40 thousandths V-groove with 40 thousand spacing. That'll be the exterior of the building. And for other parts of the build, I will be using this 296 I-beam for the exterior supports of overhangs and roof. The 8102 I will be using to create the roof panels. Then over here we have number 175 that I will be using for internal corner supports. The 133 I'll be using to trim out doors and windows or whatever. And then over here we got an assortment of Plastruck products, ladders with safety cages, handrails, stair rails, and stairs. Anyhow, now that you know what I'm going to be using, the next step is to draw out everything. Oh, and by the way, for the roof, I will be using the for sale signs that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards or whatever big box store is in your area. Anyhow, now that that's all been said, let's get on to drawing out the structure on the plastic, and we'll continue from there. Be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at in front of you right now is the back side of the evergreen product that I'm going to be using for the exterior walls. As you can see, here's one of the side walls, the second side wall, the front, and the back. And these back here are the towers. Now I try to use the factory edge to make sure I get as straight a cut as I possibly can. Anyhow, this little section in here is the other half of this guy, and this little section right here is the front half of these guys. So I guess the next step for us to do is to start cutting this stuff out and see how we go. So anyhow, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Alright guys, we're back and we're going to start cutting up the plastic that I'm going to be doing for Jack's build right here. You all know from my previous videos that I usually clamp this down and use this as my straight edge to cut the plastic. But what I haven't shown you up till now is how do I make sure that this line is straight. So I take my square and I put it in here and square it up with the edge here and make sure I got a tight fit here. So that gives me almost a guarantee that this piece right here will be square for further uses. Anyhow, now that you've seen this nice clean sharp blade, and this is 40 thousandths thick, so it's going to take several cuts to get through. I'll do the first cut at normal speed and I'll do the rest of the cuts at time lapse. Anyhow, don't press too hard. Oops, watch your fingers. And just let the knife do the work. You can feel when it starts getting into the plastic. And I will do my my snap system once I get this cut far enough. And like I said, it will take quite a few cuts because this is 40 thousandths thick. Oops, I just broke my blade. Now we're getting pretty deep and I can feel it. So we'll do 2 more passes and then we'll see if it breaks. Okay. So now, take my clamps off. And hopefully, oh, look at that. And there you go. Now just remember, when you do a cut like that, there's always going to be a ridge right here, so you need to sand that down. But otherwise, I have another clean piece that I could use for later use. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and clamp this up and start cutting. And there's going to be a way that I'm going to be doing this. I will be cutting this section out first. And one thing I need to remind you guys is that when you cut this out, if you're using texture like I am here, to make sure that you orient it right, let me show you what I mean here. The wall I'm going to cut out is this wall here, and I want the texture to be on the outside. So I actually have to do this backwards. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and clamp this down and we'll get going with the rest of the cuts. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, all my pieces are finally cut out now. It took about 45 minutes to cut everything out after I did my last clip. Let me explain the building to you. This section of the building right here faces the street. So when I refer to this building, this will be the right wall, this will be the left wall extension, the extension front, this will be the left wall, and then the front and back, and then here are my towel pieces. You guys know from watching my videos what my next move is going to be, so stay tuned and I'll do a mock-up of all these parts, make sure they all fit, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at now is the mock-up of all the pieces I just showed you I'd cut out. There's some other stuff that needs to get done to this at this point. For instance, there'll be a garage door in this area here. There'll be a garage door in this area here. People door about halfway up on this wall right here. And in the front, we're going to get a couple of vent windows. There'll be a floor up in here. As you can see, I've got a piece of the plastruct railing there. There'll be a floor up here with some sort of machinery. I don't know exactly what it was. Even when I was there, I forgot to ask them. But anyhow, there'll be a couple of machinery. I'll just build a couple of square boxes and have some piping going into the window, into the door. On this area here, let me back this back out. In front of this piece right here, there'll be a steel structure that comes out and comes down and will carry some pipes up to the top of this tower. And then also behind here, there'll be 2 or 3 silos and an air conditioning unit and some other smaller tanks and blah 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 blah. Anyhow, we will conclude this video now, and stay tuned for part 2, where I'm actually going to start to assemble this structure. I will have the doors drawn in and possibly cut out already, and I'll have all the accessories that I will be putting on this building pretty much ready to go. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome.